At right tackle from Washington, number 76, Tua Tagovailoa.
Welcome back to the Steel Deal
And running back from
week, whatever it
Oklahoma
is.
State.
Brad, I'm Nick. We're both wearing our the throwbacks today, I guess. I got my vintage Roethlisberger, the newly inducted Steelers Hall of Honor. Brad's in his James Farrier jersey. Quick note: this jersey, I believe, I got in like fourth grade. So it is tight. It's pretty much a midriff, and I'm not dropping the camera down any further. That is not for this channel. Sorry. But vibes are high right now. A overwhelmingly confident team building win last night over the Dolphins, which just felt good. Obviously, a little bit of fourth quarter drama, but it felt from the first quarter pretty much all the way through the game that we were in control of that game. And that is one of the most enjoyable Steeler games I've had in a while. How are you feeling, Brad?
Yeah, it was a tight first half. It was like they got out there, man, it's cold. I want to play football tonight.
Yeah.
But there was just a lot of back and forth. I think at one point both teams had punted 4 times each before anything really kind of got rolling there at the end of the second quarter. But and then the second half is like they made adjustments at halftime, and then they put 21 points on the board because of the adjustments or whatever happened. They got the blood flowing. I mean, it was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was. It really, and it's so interesting because the Dolphins came up early, and I believe they practiced at Robert Morris, the football team in the area. I believe they practiced there in the snow, which is, they're like, oh, we're getting ready for the snow, and everyone's like, there's not going to be snow Monday night. It's just going to be cold, and that is a little bit, cold versus snow is different. And I think a lot of people just kind of still think in their minds that Miami is this. Tua is going to throw the ball deep and Tyreek Hill is going to go catch it offense. And really, they're not. They haven't been that for probably majority of this year going back. They have a fullback. They have a fullback. So they were on paper equipped to handle the Steelers defense coming into this game. And I don't think they did anything. It
didn't work out too well for them.
No. And truthfully, obviously, we don't watch a lot of Dolphins games, but we know enough of the league to know kind of what's going on. This is a good reminder that just because you draft a quarterback high does not mean he's going to work out. Tank for Tua was a thing. And Tua is now in year 5 or year 6.
Yeah.
I think Phillip Rivers threw a stronger, more powerful pass than Tua did. It was hard to watch Tua play. Obviously, he's had so many concussions.
That's why I'm shocked he's still in the league because, I mean, his brain's got to be like Jell-O.
Yeah, the throw that Asante Samuel Jr., welcome to the league, welcome to the team, picked off, the ball just floated in the air for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had a couple like that. It's just, you're sitting there, and anytime you can diagnose how bad a read is from your couch in real time, I'm like, you're an NFL quarterback, dude. You're making $50+ million. How do you not know to throw? How do you know to not throw that?
Yeah.
So, obviously, Rodgers played very well. I think it was one of his most efficient games in his career. He was 23 for 27, 224, and 2 touchdowns.
I know. I was watching his numbers, and I'm like, at one point, he had only missed 1 throw, and I'm like, what is,
Yeah.
At that point, I think he might have had 100 yards passing or something.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's being really efficient right now. He's not missing pretty much anything.
Yeah, for a while he had that Kenny Pickett stat line. He was like 7 for 8 for 53 yards. That's a career for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, he finished 15 of 25 for 64 whopping yards over the weekend.
What a disaster that was. What a disaster.
Averaged, 2.6 yards a throw?
It's just terrible. Like, my cousin went to Pitt. All love to Jared. I know he and I go back and forth all the time. He is like, the Steelers let Kenny Pickett down. I'm like, no, Kenny Pickett let Kenny Pickett down. That chapter is gone. That book is closed. It's at Goodwill. Someone else can take care of it. Mm-hmm. But no, I was very pleased with Rodgers. I told Sarah when we were watching the game, Rodgers is probably one of like 5 quarterbacks that I have watched in my life where I fully trust him in bad weather / cold games.
Well, yeah.
They showed that stat. I think it was Tua's win-loss record in games under 40 degrees. And it was like, oh, yeah, he's 1-0.
It's like
Granted,
11 or something.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many. He plays in South Florida. I get that. And then they showed Rodgers, and he had like 42. And obviously, that's a difference in longevity. And I said, I think that there are 3 quarterbacks that I've watched that I just trust in cold weather, and that's Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Roethlisberger, because those guys are just so big. And so, Rodgers is different because he can just diagnose everything. It's incredible to watch him when they got him on that 12-man penalty, the 12-man on the field.
I was like, what does he keep griping about?
He's like, he's right there.
Yeah, and he knew that they could, that was something they could go back and verify on video replay, and that was part of the rule book. He knew it. So he's like, hey, go back. Sure enough, because I was, is he trying to get them to throw the flag for PI? Because they're not going to do that.
I know.
And then they finally figured out what was going on, and it's like, oh.
And he knew it. And there has never been anyone better than Rodgers at taking advantage of pre-snap penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times has he just thrown a deep ball because the defender was offsides? And he's so good at that. And, again, we've kind of said it almost every week that Rodgers has had a good week, which you could argue has been most of the year. It feels so weird because we didn't want him. We didn't want him. And there's an argument to say, well, we should have just, kind of rolled out Will Howard and Mason Rudolph and drafted a quarterback and gone from there. But again, just so pleased with how Rodgers has handled himself on the team, in the locker room, on the field, on social media. I guess the Steelers were like, hey, no more McAfee on Tuesdays. And to his credit, he's listened, and he's just been playing ball. He had a quote. He said, this is the first time I played meaningful football in December in like 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So very, very pleased with him. And then Kenneth Gainwell was fantastic as well. He's just been we got to re-sign him. He's on a 1-year deal. We got to re-sign him.
He only signed a 1-year deal?
Yep.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and he kind of came in and we're like, oh, okay, running back 3 is what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been phenomenal, especially when, for whatever reason, if Jaylen Warren's banged up or sick in this case, Kenny G, just making music.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see if they keep him around. I mean, he might. Price is definitely going to go up. And then you've got Caleb waiting in the wings. And I guess they're like, just we're not paying the rookie very much. We're just going to let him sit and watch as much as possible as long as these 2 are producing.
Yeah, I guess it's not the worst problem to have. If neither Jalen or Kenneth Gainwell are making a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get Gainwell back on a 2-year, $10 million deal, which I think is very reasonable for a running back, this is only his 5th year. I think that's fair, and you do that, and then you also have Caleb. You continue to work Caleb in, and if you can get a 3-headed monster in there or continue to grow Caleb, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
From what I saw out of him playing college ball and his size, I believe he can become one of those bell cow guys. But
talking about Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's massive. He's like 6'1", massive. He's 6'1", 6'2". He's a short guy.
Yeah.
But compared to Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, yeah, he's tall.
Yeah. I mean, I know he hasn't put out a lot this season, but again, I mean, they're like, hey, just watch these guys and learn. Maybe they're not going to, rush him out there. We'll see what happens next year, but that's next year.
Yeah, sit there, learn pass protection, learn this, learn that. There's more to the game than just what happens on the field. And if he can get the mental reps.
His weak suit was pass pro, and I don't care how good you are running the ball. If you can't get out there and pass protect your quarterback, you get your quarterback killed. And we got fine China back there, so
yeah. We got it's definitely it's breakable. I thought the defense played okay. They obviously they played well in the middle 2 quarters. But it kind of felt like we were so close on a couple plays and just couldn't convert. We had sacks and 3rd down stops, but it was almost like the Dolphins' offense was so bad, our defense didn't have to do anything. Very pleased. We shut down the run game. I saw the stat coming in games without Derek Harmon. We were giving up 192 rushing yards, and the Dolphins were averaging 191 rushing yards. So we shut them down on the run, and that's without Harmon. So I am pleased with that, and I don't want to diminish anything that the defense did. It kind of felt like we had them backed into a corner all game, and we couldn't get the kill shot.
Yeah. It was one of those games that, it was fun to watch, but it was also like, well, it is the Dolphins.
Yep.
They're not a very good team either. They're a little worse than we are.
Yep.
Especially when it's the quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback that can get anything done, you're screwed just about every Sunday.
Well, and Tua's completely lost his mobility. At least he could scramble out there, and he wasn't going to pick up 30 or 40, but he could pick up 5 or 6, and that was something. He was, again, his stat line's not bad. He was 22 of 28, 253, and 2 touchdowns and an interception. That's not bad. On paper, that's fine, but we know that 193 of those yards came in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the junk time stuff.
Yeah, so it's not
playing soft zones and
The Dolphins I think they won four in a row, so this knocked them out of the playoffs. They're officially out.
How many sacks did we end up with? I'm guessing 3, maybe.
In my head, I have 3 because we had Cam because he did the TJ Watt celebration.
Yeah.
Peyton Wilson got in there for 1, and I think either Herbig or Highsmith got 1. No, Ramsey got 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. That was.
Yeah.
I'm looking up the stats right now. Oh. Team stats. We got 4.
4.
What it's saying. Miami allowed 4 sacks.
Okay. So, fine. Again, fine. You could tell I did love Ramsey came out with a fire ready to go. And
yeah.
Tyreek Hill tweeted during the game, don't let Ramsey make a play or he's going to talk trash to the rest of the rest of the year or something like that. And it's just so funny because that Ramsey made a play and he's talking trash the entire time. And you kind of need that, and it's so interesting because obviously this was the trade, right? The trade we traded Minka, we got Jonnu and Jalen, and so interesting because Jalen's been fantastic all year long. Wherever we put him, he's been fantastic. Jonnu's been very, very
yeah.
Of course, the
touchdown run was nice, but
he and Jalen Warren set an NFL record. I don't know, that weird stat. It's the first time in NFL history that 2 tight ends have ran for a touchdown in the same game. Yeah, Arthur Smith is so proud. But Minka didn't do a whole lot. You could tell they weren't trying
in 3 years. So.
Yeah, you could tell that they weren't trying to beat Minka, but that's exactly why we traded him because he's so good. It's not that he's a bad player, but you can just avoid him. And the only time he was in the game, DK Metcalf threw him 7 yards across
I didn't realize that was when he threw me. I didn't realize it was Minka, and I was laughing. I was like, he threw that dude like a rag doll.
I know.
And then the play's over, and they're like, he did that to Minka, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you see 29 in white just halfway across the field. You're like, oh, no, Minka. And then when Minka got injured, the entire Steelers team came out to check on him. It kind of felt like, he's one of those guys that we will remember his time in Pittsburgh, and we will be grateful for that time. It was just time to move on, and we did.
When we traded for him, I was like, we did what? We traded a first-round pick for a second-year player in Miami? What's happening here?
Yeah.
And then he comes in, and he's picking off quarterbacks every weekend, returning some of them for touchdowns, like right off the bat. And I'm like, well, okay, makes sense. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I think he had an interception and a fumble recovery in his first game in Pittsburgh against the 49ers.
Yeah. And I think, didn't he return the interception for a score in that game?
I forget. I was a child then. No, I'm kidding. I was so young. So yeah, we're 8-6. Dolphins are 6-8. Very pleased with 4. We had 4 straight touchdown drives. That was remarkable. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen anything like that in like 7 years.
I believe they did say that hadn't happened since 2018 too.
It's because Prime Ben was in the building. That's why.
Yeah, that was his last really, really good season. That was the year before he got hurt.
It would have been 2018.
Yeah, and he got hurt in 2019. It was when we were in Vegas and we got married. and we were on the way to go kayaking, and I was watching the game on my phone against Seattle, or whoever it was, he blew his elbow out.
It was Seattle. It was Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, and then God, it's crazy. Did you watch any of the Hall of Honor stuff?
I saw pictures from it and a little bitty video clips over the weekend, but I didn't really. I saw something where Big Snack was there and Ben was hugging him, and I thought it was really cool seeing him.
Ben opened up because they had the dinner, I guess, on Saturday night, and Ben opened up his dinner by, I'm paraphrasing. He thanked the Browns for not drafting him.
I saw that in an article, but I didn't actually see it. It's like that's just beautiful.
And he showed so much love to Marquise Pouncey. You can tell that those guys are just brothers. And I don't know if Pouncey will go in the Hall of Fame. There's an argument for him. There's a lot of centers that you kind of feel like are deserving to go that aren't in there. But you could tell that last night meant a lot to those three guys. Joey Porter, obviously. Sarah asked a question. She was like, "Oh, was he like really, really good?" And I was like, he was kind of like that era's version of Alex Highsmith, but more vocal. He was a leader, right? Like he wasn't like the best outside linebacker in the league, but you could tell he was top 10. He was just physical.
He would disappear at times, but it was more that they were playing him in pass protection a lot. But when they let him loose and get after the quarterback, especially in the big games, oh my God.
Feasted, just feasted. I really think that's probably a fair comparison in Alex Highsmith. And, just in terms of he's not the best guy in the league, but everyone wants him on their team, and he'd be most teams' one. So for him to go in, I thought it's just really cool. And then obviously Ben and then Pouncey. It's so incredible because you think about the Steelers organization, and it's kind of like it's like the Celtics in basketball where they just have such a storied history, and the Lakers too, but I'm a Celtics fan, where like half of their numbers are retired because they've had so many great players, and the Steelers don't retire numbers, for that reason. They don't give them out. You're not going to see a 7 or a 43, but you've seen a 53, and you've seen an 83, and you've seen an 86. So it happens, but you're not going to see a 12. You're not going to see a 32. You're not going to see a 75.
Dude,
there's
certain. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just said there's certain ones that are off limits, and I wonder if they'll retire Ben's officially.
Yeah, I don't know. When they drafted Porter, he came in. They gave him number 95, and that was just a few years after Greg Lloyd left the team, and he blew his Achilles out, and just he wasn't the same after we went to Super Bowl 30. He blew his Achilles out the first game of the next season in Jacksonville. And then he came back in 97, and right when he seemed like he was getting ready to get back into play and shape, a little over halfway through the season, he had some other kind of injury and then ended up with a staph infection, and I think he ended up missing the rest of the season. And then next thing you know, he's with Kevin Green in Charlotte. Well, in 99, they drafted Joey Porter, and they gave Joey Greg's old number. He's wearing 95, and he looked like his frame. He looked like Lloyd walking around at training camp, and everybody started calling him Baby Lloyd.
That's
I got
funny.
tickets to go see them play in Charlotte for preseason, and Joey was out there. What's that?
Back when they would do the week 4 rotation.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Joey was out there wreaking havoc on the field, and this nasty storm comes through right before the end of the first half, and you could see it from the other side of the stadium coming towards us. And there's 2 or 3 minutes left in the half, and Porter was out there just stopping the run, stopping them in the backfield, sacking the quarterback, and I would not come out of the freaking rain. My ex-wife was out there going, "Will you get out?" I'm like, "He looks like Greg Lloyd." I was like, "He's killing him out here. I'm not coming out of the rain for nothing. This is amazing." I mean, I loved Greg Lloyd, and then Porter comes out. He's playing ball like Greg Lloyd. He's wearing Greg's number at that point still.
Yeah.
And then after the preseason ends, he comes out wearing 55, and he's like, "I did not want to keep getting compared to Greg." He's like, "I'm my own man." And I understood that.
That's fair.
But, man, the fans were going nuts over him when he came into Pittsburgh just because he looked like Lloyd in a jersey and was just like a monster on the field.
It's so interesting because you look at outside linebackers, and I say outside linebackers, not edge rushers, because that's what they were at the time. you look at those guys compared to obviously TJ's a Hall of Famer, but TJ Watt is not built the same.
Yeah.
Like those dudes were massive,
Mhm.
massive, massive guys. And it's just I love seeing how the league changes because it's so cool to see how the players change, how the body types change. Because yeah, Joey Porter and TJ Watt play the same position, and it's like you would not. They're very different body types.
Oh yeah. And Greg
Um,
was like 6'2", 225. He wasn't a really, really big dude.
yeah,
He was a I want to say, and I'm just guessing, a third or fourth degree black belt.
damn,
I'm not sure if it was Taekwondo. I can't remember exactly which martial art it was, but he used a lot of those concepts with fighting
yeah.
linemen to use leverage against them, and just beast.
TJ is listed at 6'4", 250.
Wow.
So maybe I'm wrong because holy moly, I'm 6'5", 270. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. All right, let's get back to it. Steelers extended their home Monday night home win streak to 23 games. So the last time the Steelers lost a Monday night football game at home, it was at Three Rivers. Chuck Noll was the coach, and the USSR was still rolling. So that's a crazy.
Wow.
So
Mm.
that primetime games matter in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's just nice when we win them,
Yeah.
and we usually do on Monday night. Sunday night,
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's
Jim.
probably about 50-50 on Sunday night recently.
It feels like it. It really does feel like it. Just for whatever reason. I mean, shit, it was 10 degrees last night in Pittsburgh. I would love to be there. Like, I obviously would love to be there. You bundle up when
Yeah.
when we go to Boone, for the app games. The last game of the year is usually pretty cold, and they're fun. They're fun, but you got to get into it, and you got to get all of the liquid warmth you can sometimes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but no, it. I still feel. I feel like this was the perfect measuring stick for us because we're so clearly better than the bad teams, but we're not good enough to beat the good teams.
9-8.
Not an eight. I mean, really,
Yeah.
we we get massacred by the Bills, and the Bills are one of two, three AFC teams that actually have a chance at the Super Bowl, and we massacre the 6 and 8 teams. So we're right where we think we were. I had 10-7 at the start of the year. What if we went out? No, two
If
and
we
one down
went
the
out,
stretch
we'll
right
be
there.
11-6.
Yeah. Um. So we might get to 10-7.
Which
And that's
I was looking at standings last night. I didn't realize that Detroit, they're only 8-6 also.
yep, yeah. But they just feel so much better. Like they
Yeah,
just
we'll
feel.
find out. We're playing them in Detroit too, so
We
right?
are.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. We only
yeah.
have one more home game, and it's Baltimore. It pretty much the way that the math works right now is highly unlikely the Ravens drop their next two, and highly unlikely that we win our next two. If that happens, then Week 18 does not matter.
Yeah.
But if either team splits, then Week 18 will be for the mark for everything. So likely, as we all suspected,
Yeah. It's
it's
gonna
going
be
to
for
come
the
down to the
marbles.
last game of the year against Baltimore.
Wow.
It's crazy. The NFL is sitting there going, "Yeah, yeah," especially because they're kind of screwed. Whenever they make these primetime schedules so far out in advance,
Hmm.
it's always funny to see who they think is going to be good and then who ends up being terrible. Like 2 years ago, they were like, you could tell they thought the Broncos were going to be really good because the Broncos had like 9 primetime games. And the Broncos were terrible.
Yeah.
They were terrible. And this year, it's been the Commanders. Everyone
They
thought the
were
Commanders were going to be.
great last year.
They were. And then there's also a lot of Chief games, and Mahomes is out. So
Yeah.
that we can win the AFC North. I
I mean, it's if they get in the playoffs, they've got to win the North.
yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, like we cannot make the playoffs as a wild card.
mhm.
I'm pretty sure the math is there that the week 18 will be playoffs or not for both teams like that unless obviously unless teams start losing out because we're already I think 3 games behind the next division leader, which is Jacksonville. That's crazy. What a world we live in.
Yeah. I tell you, if they go into Detroit and win, it worries me that they're going to get fat, happy, and cocky going into Cleveland against a winnable team and then drop that one. And then, have to deal with Baltimore, with, everything on the line.
But and that's a great point. That is a great point because that's exactly what we would do. I'd almost rather them do that than the reverse because you have to beat good teams. You need to have if we can go into Detroit and beat them at home, that's going to do more for our confidence than, damn, we lost the Browns. I don't think we're going to lose the Browns. They are so terrible right now. I'm terrified of Myles Garrett. He's going to break the sack record on Sunday. He's at 22 right now with 3 games remaining. Insane.
Yeah, he'll shatter it.
Incredible record. Incredible. Just, again, we don't like him. He's a Brown player. We don't like what did Juju say? The Browns is the Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, he did call TJ while he was in the hospital and check in on him. So
very nice of him.
He's apparently a good human.
Myles Garrett is just fun to watch. He really is just fun to watch. And regardless of who he plays for, sometimes you just got to sit back and respect the talent. And that's kind of where I am right now.
Speaking of linemen, Dylan Cook,
Montana.
It was undrafted, just sitting and watching, inactive most weeks. His
college
entire pro career. College quarterback.
College quarterback.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. They moved him to offensive tackle. Yeah.
Good Lord, was he like
cool
that guy that played? He ended up getting drafted by the Giants. That was massive.
Jared Lorenzen.
Yeah, that's it.
The hefty
he was with
lefty.
Kentucky. Did he go from lineman to quarterback?
I don't know. The hefty
that dude
lefty
was a monster.
The Pillsbury throw boy.
I haven't heard that one.
May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he passed a couple years ago. Go look at his highlights in the. He played in the Arena League. Just amazing, amazing. It's that highlight reel is up there with Tavon Austin's West Virginia tape. Just it's amazing.
Holy smokes!
Just go on. It's just a man of that size should not move that fast, and he was, and it was fantastic. But yeah, Dylan Cook I thought was phenomenal. Well, not phenomenal. He was good. He held his own. He did what was asked of him. He didn't give up a sack.
Tomlin was asked about him after the game, and he's like, yeah, he played above the line. We gave him some help. But during the game, Aikman and Buck pointed out, they're like, look at this again. He's blocking this dude, and nobody's helping him, and he's keeping him out of the play and keeping Rodgers clean.
Yeah, he was blocking Chop Robinson and Matthew Judon, who are accomplished pass rushers in this league.
Not saying they never helped him, but, I mean, he was holding his own with no help.
He was holding his own. Broderick's done for the year. We got to decide if we're going to pick up his option or not. And one game is not going to decide that.
No.
But, it's also money. You want to pay Broderick? Shoot, I mean, Dan Moore's making like $35 million a year. So are you going to pay Broderick $40 million a year if you can get similar? And I love Broderick. I love him. He seems like a great guy. But those are the hard decisions you have to make as a team, as an owner, as a GM, as a coach. Which guys are? It's like when we let Joey Porter walk when we went to the Dolphins. It's like you don't want to let those guys, or it countless examples, but you can't pay everyone.
Yeah.
But
and we were talking about Porter last week in his penalties. And then I saw I hate to call it a meme, but it was just something posted online talking about the top DBs in the league and how many. Yeah. And he's like at the bottom. He only had 6 penalties all season called on him.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I know exactly which stat you're talking about. I'm talking to kill time right here. Here we go. Notable penalty yardage allowed in comparison to Joey Porter Jr. He has less penalty yardage given up than Patrick Surtain, defending Defensive Player of the Year, Quinyon Mitchell, elite cornerback, Trent McDuffie, and Derek Stingley Jr., all elite cornerbacks. He's given up less penalty yards than those 5.
Pick up that option.
Well, he doesn't get an option.
Before, he had 17 PIs.
He doesn't get an option because he's a second round pick.
Oh,
You only get
okay.
an
Well,
option. You only get an option for your first round pick.
oh, okay. So, well, it's time to give him a new deal because he's going to be
Yep.
on. He's going to have what, a year left after this season. So
Yep.
they'll be
Yep.
renegotiating a new deal for him.
Yep. Yep. I expect that they'll sign him.
But he went from 17 a year ago to just 6, and we got 3 games left. So, and
Yeah, he's been.
I don't think
he's
he had
been,
any called last night.
No, he's been great. He really has been great. He's just grabby. He's grabby and he's physical, and that's his play style. And
Hmm.
again, I'd rather a cornerback do that than be so far off the guy that he's giving up yardage every time. I'd rather at least the wide receiver know Joey's going to hit me and Joey's going to be in my face than, oh, the guy's 5 yards downfield. I'll catch this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're happy. It feels like the same thing. We're happy about the win. It feels good, but it doesn't change my perspective on what we need to do this offseason
Yeah.
with coaching staff. It doesn't change my perspective on what's going to happen this year. 9-8, 10-7, playoff loss. We need to figure stuff out. The Steelers have been throwing scouts at quarterbacks all year long, and a lot of them are going back to school. So I'm real curious what we're going to do because
Wow.
maybe you take a guy in the second round. That historically that doesn't work. I'm trying to think of the list of
Drew Brees.
second round quarterbacks, who have won a Super Bowl, and the list is pretty short. Pretty short. Obviously, again, back to Tua, a first round pick is not guaranteed to be good either. So you got to hit and you got to make the right system. But
When Belichick was looking at drafting Brady, you know who the other quarterback was that he was eyeballing?
it was 99, right?
2000, because his rookie year was 2000, so it had been the 2000 draft.
But wasn't Brady drafted in 90? Was he drafted in 99?
He was drafted in 2000.
Or he was pick 199. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's it.
who are you referencing?
Tim Rattay, who ended up either was a 7th round pick or an undrafted free agent with the Niners.
Okay.
Those were the only 2 quarterbacks he was eyeballing, and I believe he knew that they were going to fall and he was going to get them late.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
You got to have an eye for these guys and know what you want out of your quarterback, and
yeah.
you can pick them anywhere. Most likely, you're going to have to grab a guy in the first round, first round.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work out like that. There's so
You got to get a guy. You got to get a guy, and
Mhm.
and you can't just say, "Oh, there's next year. Oh, there's next year." I'd rather them throw darts at quarterbacks. Ironically, Jackson Dart was available for the taking. He's got too many concussions. He's averaging 1 concussion every game, every other
Dart,
game. Jackson Dart. He's
he's the
played 10
concussion
games
guy.
and he's had
Wow.
5 concussion tests.
See, everything I read about him before the draft was of all the quarterbacks they were looking at going relatively first, second, third round, he was the least pro ready of any of them. Based on every scouting report I read, they say he doesn't play in a pro offense at, was it Mississippi or Ole Miss or something like
Ole Miss,
that?
yeah.
If he gets drafted, he's going to need to sit for a while before he's ready. And then when the Giants, I almost dropped my mic, but when the Giants picked him up in the first round, I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Because everything I read, and it wasn't just like 2 magazines. I read all kinds of. There's probably 10 different sources, and everybody's like, "Yeah, he's not ready. He's going to have to sit for a while." And they grabbed him in the first round.
They traded back up for him.
Yeah.
The thing is, right now he's kind of on that path of, it's like, okay, well, first of all, they're losing games, so it's not like he's doing anything crazy. He's making some good throws and he's putting together some drives, but it's, you need more than that, and give him time. He doesn't even have a head coach right now, so maybe that'll change. But you got to go for it. You got to go for it. It's disheartening to see what the Rams have done, where they went all in for a Super Bowl, traded first round picks for guys, and then turned around and won a Super Bowl, and then turned around, and then here they are, right back as the 1 seed or a 2 seed in the NFC, and looking like they're going to compete for another Super Bowl championship. You gotta figure out that position, and until we do, we're 9-8.
Yeah, Pittsburgh tried to do the Rams thing, but they did the Dollar General version.
They went to the retirement home, whatever the old person version of that. So
I do want to mention one thing. Carson Bruner.
Yeah, Husky.
He is a special teams demon. And that's why they drafted him, because they thought he would be a really good teams linebacker, gunner, whatever. I don't know what his actual position's called when he's out there on
special teams. That's
kick return. But he is always mixing it up down there with the returners, making the tackles, or he's like right there with everybody else. I mean, he's going to make some plays for us on teams at some point.
Yeah, he was the most Steeler pick that I've ever seen, because he fits the bill of late round linebacker with a lot of tackles, and his dad works for the Steelers.
Yeah, he was a solid tight end for us back in the 90s too.
Yep. All right, you got anything else?
No, I believe that's it.
All right, we're on to Detroit. Quick shout out to Brad, the guitar and ukulele, electric guitar and ukulele teacher of the year, 5 times in a row for the guitar, 4 times in a row for the ukulele. So if you're in Brad's domain, hit him up. He can teach you how to play.
Yeah, man, I teach worldwide. Before we finished, I just got off with a lesson with a kid in Japan. So
there you go. That's sweet.
Yeah,
that's
sweet. A lot of fun.
That's so cool, man. That's so cool. All right. Thank you all for listening. You know where to find us. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your parents, don't tell your grandparents. I don't care. Just listen to us.
Your
drop
Browns
the comments.
Fans, friends.
Yeah, we'll take everything. Just don't tell Mike Tomlin we exist, because he might not like what we have to say about him sometimes. All right, we will see y'all next time. Go Steelers.
Later.